ladies and gentlemen, TwinklePhoenix here, and welcome back to Seduce Me to the Demon War. Where were we? Here we were. We were just kidnapped by, of course, the evil little annoying imps, because why not? Our main character clearly cannot defend herself. I reached out and clawed at the darkness, trying to find something to grab onto. I tried to pull my legs away from the hands that were holding them, but couldn't break free. What was going on? Why was this happening? Well, the imp just shouted at the top of his lungs about the demon lord and about taking you because you had magic, even though technically all you did was stand there and you were glowing with aura. But that still counts as it being magic. Someone help me! As if someone had heard my screams, I suddenly felt the hands let go and disappear, leaving me to float in the darkness they left me in. I shut my eyes. Please let this be a dream. Please let this be a dream. I finally felt a surface under my feet, and I collapsed onto it. My body curled in on itself from the experience I had. I didn't dare tear my eyes away from my lap, not ready to get up just yet. The voice I heard, however, made my heart stop.
You! What are you doing here?
I didn't come here because of choice. It was not my fault. Do not get angry at me. I have a sort of explanation, kind of. I looked up, finally having the courage to take in my surroundings. My heart stopped beating for a moment, seizing my chest. I looked up to see 5 figures, strange, monster beings that I didn't recognize. They all looked down at me in surprise as if I dropped in a very bad time. Well, they were technically discussing a war, but you couldn't have known that. One man looked like an orc from a fantasy game with the tusks. He had a broken horns and a very frightening aura around him as he stared at me. The other man was lanky in comparison, more human-like, but I could almost feel power emanating from him regardless. One of the women who was staring at me had rabbit ears. Rabbit ears? They twitched on top of her head, and she looked at me and gripped her staff. She seemed harmless, yet she had animal ears. She could be a cosplayer for all you know. The one creature that I couldn't discern the sex of seemed more excited to see me than surprised. What freaked me out about them was that they had wings sticking out from their back and they were floating. Wait. You're getting married to a demon, to an incubi, and apparently seeing her with wings. You've seen a ghost, spirit, never mind. The last remember set off alarm bells in my head as I looked at her surprised face, her hair, her eyes. Diana? Can I just point out, though, you get to see a familiar face. I know that you and her weren't on the best of terms, but she didn't exactly kill you last time. Depending on whose route you went after, but she at least left peacefully, in a sense. As she said, the woman turned her body towards me in recognition to the name I called her. It was her.
What are you doing?
Not my choice. Totally was meant to be getting married. I have no reason to be here in general. Unless, of course, you want to be invited to a wedding, in which case I would definitely invite you. But, again, Wedding's more important right now. We should be getting married and not stuck here with you. No offense to you, of course, Diana. Diana walked towards me and stared down at me. It was odd. She didn't look like a human, yet I wasn't afraid of her demon form as it towered over me. I was more in shock as to what was going on. Before Diana could speak further, most likely to repeat herself, a figure quickly stepped up and bowed to her, kneeling beside me.
My lady, please forgive me. I felt something moving between our worlds and assumed the Demon Lord was to blame, so I intercepted his summoning of this human.
There's your explanation. It was Zero. I can never say his name right.
You. So I wasn't the only one who felt the change in the
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got like a wedding to get to. It's kind of like happening now. Unless, of course, the time moves differently here. So it could be like weeks from now and stuff, but still, wedding! And not to mention, goodness knows how long that charm's gonna last on this one before she snaps again. I advise you to run for cover because I don't know what's gonna come out of her mouth. Diana stared at the man kneeling beside me as I kept my eyes up at her. As she turned her gaze back to me, I gulped silently. What was she gonna do with me? This all felt wrong. I was supposed to be married. I was about to live my happily ever after with the man I loved. Now I was in a place I didn't know with Diana and a bunch of other creatures I didn't recognize. My instincts was to stay still, cry, scream, attack. Well, no, attacking won't work, screaming won't work. I don't know. Just cry. Just cry. It's too much emotion. We have to cry. This wasn't happening. This couldn't have been happening. No way. I felt tears build up in my eyes, and I lowered them to look at the floor in front of me. As my gaze fell, my lungs began to seize hard, forcing me to hiccup in sadness. I do feel for Diana. It must be really bad for her to suddenly have somebody burst in on their meeting, and she suddenly breaks down crying. I mentioned it must be all the more confusing, the fact that she's wearing a wedding dress. The most important day of her life, and it's all been taken from you in an instant. I couldn't help it. I began to cry profusely. Why was this happening? Why was I here? If this was another nightmare, I wanted to wake up immediately. This wasn't right. I covered my face and I cried in my hands, curling over myself as I felt sadness run through my entire body. Please let me wake up, please. As I felt warmth suddenly spread through my body, I slowly stopped and felt fresh air rush into my lungs. What was happening? I recognized this warmth. I looked up to see Diana kneeling down with a very concerned look on her face, her visible eyes glowing a warm gold color as she stared at me. Was she enthralling me? I didn't feel aroused like I felt usually whenever I was enthralled, but I felt calm and almost mellow.
Calm down.
Diana's voice seemed almost soothing, like a lullaby. However, I wasn't sleepy. I just felt quiet. The worry I had in my mind was gone. The sadness gone. Diana must have done something to make sure I wouldn't cry. I didn't know whether to thank her or to be afraid.
Now, can you tell me what happened? Take your time and try to remember everything.
Succubus, we have no time for—
Surgeon, don't interrupt. It's rude.
Shh! Let her do her thing! The human obviously knows her, and she obviously needs help. Poor thing.
Why did she call her Diana, though?
I'm guessing Diana never told them about her adventures, in the other world.
That must have been the human name she used while she was in the human world. Smart.
All of you, please!
Exactly. We would love to hear your running commentary, but again, this is a very tender moment for Diana. Silence engulfed the room as Diana looked at the four beings behind her. She then turned back to me and held out her hand, ushering me to take it.
Can you stand?
I nodded and took a hand, standing up at last. I looked around at the other beings in the room. They all kept their gazes to me, unsure what I would do or say. Diana, however, led the conversation.
First, can you tell me what happened?
Well, I could tell you a wonderful story. How we were just standing there minding our own business, getting on the dress. We apparently glue, and apparently then two voices said, "She's got magic! Quick, take her now! The demon lord needs her! No real explanation why we're taking her, or why we automatically assumed the weird aura was her, but let's take her anyway, regardless of a wedding. Also, there is clearly no security. Because apparently anybody can just grab you nowadays." I took a breath, recounting everything that happened. I was about to go to the church to be married, and then... Another thing I need to throw out here for our main character, why didn't she just scream out Eric's name? Isn't he normally supposed to turn up whenever something happens, or you call his name, summon him? He would have then popped up right that second, just saying. I was attacked by this darkness. A couple of hands grabbed my legs and pulled me into it, and then I fell here. Whoa, hang on, main character. You didn't even tell her that you heard talking. You clearly heard talking. Or didn't she hear the talking? I don't think she heard the talking. Right, okay. Sorry about that. Somebody came into the room then. Okay.
A shadow summoning?
Yes, a shadow summoning. Even though technically it sounded more like an imp, but still a shadow summoning. I love her, she automatically glares at him. Diana turned to one of the beings, the lanky man, and glared. His expression.
One of yours couldn't have.
On my honor, it wasn't any of mine. We have nothing to gain from kidnapping a human, nor do we know who this woman is anyhow.
My lady, if I may, I clearly remember hearing imp demons in the void along with her. It must have been the demon lord's henchmen.
Okay, so Zero here actually did hear the demons inside the void, yet our character did not hear them. Okay, wait, how did he hear them and we did not hear him? But then again, you're you, so that makes sense. You're amazing.
Those damnable creatures. That explains it.
Yes, it also explains that they are extremely rude creatures, and will never be invited to the wedding. Diana crossed her arms and looked at me again.
Well, dear, it seems that you were to be either a new harem girl for the Demon Lord to ravish, or bait for the boys to return to their father's side. Either way, I doubt you would have lived long had the Demon Lord gotten his hands on you.
Well, no. Not considering her attitude, she would have probably got killed. Considering how often she's snapping at Eric, who's not doing anything bad to her. Oh, please don't tell me our character's gonna snap it down at any point. A fun shiver ran up my spine. Was it true? I would have died? You had a dream recently, a nightmare of you dying. What do you think?
Wait a minute. This girl knows about the Demon Lord's heirs?
Yes. Hilariously enough, she was set to marry one of them, as you can see from her garb.
Again, how do you actually know that our main character's getting married to one of the boys, Diana? For all you know, technically they could have all gone their separate ways and not married. But good point. I felt an emotion towards my dress. I realized how vulnerable I was and felt extremely self-conscious. I wrapped my arms around myself as Diana let her sigh.
Well, since you do not belong here, the obvious thing to do is to send you home.
Yay! I couldn't help but stare wide-eyed at Diana. She was really going to send me home, really? I couldn't believe my ears, especially after everything that happened in the first game. And your expression worries me. What is up with that expression? You will really send me back?
Of course. It should be easy to do once everything is in order. It'll be like you never left the human world.
Oh, good. We'll be there in time for the wedding. That's fantastic. It's wonderful. Because, I mean, it'd be terrible for all the people waiting at, waiting for the ceremony to happen. They're all just waiting there thinking, she's not going to not come now. She's going to stand him up. Great. That's going to go down well with the families, I'm telling you. And then again with somebody walking into the room. Wait, like I never left the human world? What do you mean by I never left the human world? Seriously? I'm not questioning it anymore. Our character, pat on the head for our character. Janice stared before chuckling softly and gesturing to the room and the beings within it.
Dear, do you not realize where you are? You are in the demon world.
Yes, because totally these guys would look like this in the human world, and they'd all be having a conversation about a wall. I don't know, just downtown, like just outside the church area. My mind went blank. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't be in the demon world. No way. No way in hell. I felt myself back up against the wall behind me, suddenly afraid. I was in another world. How? That was impossible. But then again, I'm getting married to a demon, so it should technically all be possible. Also, you did get to see the demon world in the flashbacks, or have you literally forgotten those happened? Diana stepped towards me, both of her hands softly trying to show she meant no harm as she positioned them in front of her body.
Do not panic. We will send you back now, so there's nothing to worry about.
How will you power the spell? Bringing someone here is no easy task, but sending someone back consumes much more energy.
Good point.
I'll use what energy I have now and rest. We can organize the siege another time when I fully recover. It's not like the Demon Lord can escape the corner we've trapped him in, so we do have some time to spare.
All the way our main character is probably lost in this whole entire conversation about the Demon Lord being cornered. No worries. And the siege. She doesn't question that. Right now, her main objective is the wedding.
You'd waste time and energy on this human. We must strike now while the Demon Lord is weakened.
Trust me, Surgeon, if you knew what our character is like at present, you'd definitely want to send her home before she snaps at you.
But the human doesn't belong here. She needs to go home.
Exactly. I'm so sorry if you can hear the phone in the next room. This is what happens when people are home.
Shall I prepare the return spell?
Do. I grant you permission to use my energy to power the spell.
With a nod, the lanky man held out his hands towards the wall. I looked over in the direction it was aimed at. Diana's shadow? I watched as Diana's shadow simply stood against the wall, mirroring the movement of the real succubus in the room. Before my eyes, the shadow began to morph and expand on the wall on its own. I give points to Diana because this sounds extremely painful, and she's willing to do this to somebody that she's done really bad things to. Of course, you know. Again, you should not be watching this if you haven't played the first game, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers. And you know everything that happened with the grandfather and stuff. Oh god. I looked back to Diana to see her wrapping her arms around herself and curling her shoulders over as if she was in pain. Her nails embedded themselves into her forearms, and I could barely make out a painful hiss escape her clenched teeth. Was the spell hurting her that badly? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I turned back to the wall to see Diana's shadow shaking and vibrating, as if it was resisting the change the man was forcing on it.
You will obey my command. Open the gates to the void, and allow passage to the world we seek.
Transitum per renan plectum trenives. Ubi aperinit. Mianoium. Blessed Dieu.
Upon Diana's final words, her shadow burst and expanded into an oval-shaped doorway. I stared wide-eyed at the passage before a hand placed itself on my shoulder, forcing me to look over. The one with the spear gently pressed my shoulder forward and looked down at me with an almost stern face.
You must leave now. The faster you leave, the quicker we can close the void.
And the less pain Diana will be in.
Go! Go! Go get married!
Will do! I quickly nodded and lifted the bottom of my dress, stepping forward to make a run for the passageway. However, before I could have bolted towards my freedom, a snarl echoed through the room.
How dare you interfere with my summoning?
How do you know it was them? Oh goodness. At that very moment, Diana began to scream, arching her spine and throwing her head back. Around her body were red-tinted bolts of lightning, flashing and shocking her form.
No! Human! Use the passage! Now!
He didn't have to tell me twice. I bolted towards the portal, diving forward as I neared it, but I was forced back by a burst of energy and a flash of red light. I fell to the floor, almost slamming my head onto the stone. Technically, our creature could have died from that event alone. No!
Human will never, ever leave this world alive!
And this is one of the reasons why you're not invited to the wedding.
You spineless worm!
Close the portal! The Demon Lord might get through!
But the human...
Close it!
You heard the woman. As commanded, the man pulled his hand back, visually forcing his arms back behind his body, and Diana's shadow quickly began to morph back into a simple shadow. The electricity around Diana faded away, and she began to tip forward. The man with the spear dropped his weapon and caught Diana in his arms, cradling her to his body as she panted and gasped for air.
I don't sense the Demon Lord anywhere.
Good, let's keep it that way.
The worm has to scurry through the shadows to try and fight back. He'll be dead soon enough.
How is she, guard?
Diana seemed to look injured, but her body was twitching from the aftermath of the magical attack. Her visible eyes were shut tight as she dug her fingers into the guard's jacket to cling to him. Technically that's Cedro. Why are you not calling him Cedro? As her eyes opened, I saw not a blood ruby red color, but I saw a cold and unfriendly gold color painted over her irises. Her mouth opened as she panted for air, and I could see hunger in her facial expressions. But she continued to stare at the wall, not even wanting to make eye contact with anyone.
There are no physical wounds, but she's been weakened. I must give her my energy so she can recover.
The man swiftly moved and hooked an arm underneath Diana's knee and lifted her up bridal style. As she clung to his jacket, shivering, the spear that had fallen to the floor faded into black and purple mist as he quickly left the room with her in his arms. My mind, however, began to panic. I couldn't go home? Why was I being forced to stay? Damn the Demon Lord, this wasn't right. He's a Demon Lord, since when does he play by the rules?
There's an imp in the castle. That is the only way the Demon Lord could have been able to interfere.
Then hunt down the little imp.
You! Guards by the door! Hunt it down!
Interrogate him. A pair of guards that were apparently by the door saluted the one commanding them and ran off. I fell out of place, alone, terrified as to what was going to happen. The Demon Lord wanted me here, and his words pounded at my mind. Was I going to get home? How was I going to get home? Would I ever be able to go home?
Hey.
Don't worry, we will get you home, we will get you to that wedding, and we will try to figure out what is wrong with you. I looked up to see the winged person hovering near me before they moved and sat on their knees on the stone ground beside me.
We'll get you home, okay? Diana just needs a little rest, okay?
Okay.
She needs more than rest. She needs to use a different spell to send her back. The Demon Lord will expect her to use the shadow spell again.
How about the normal way? I'm sure we can connect to a witch, or even the warlock she used before, to reopen a portal to the human world.
The warlock she used to get to the human world died, remember? And he was the most powerful warlock in the human world, practically a god himself. What other human could be used to open a portal without another human dying?
I have a question. How did they know that about the human that Diana used to get to the human world, if they didn't even know Diana went by the name that she did there? But they knew about the warlock that she used that had died? How on earth did they know that, but they didn't know that Diana went by her name? Isaiah went by the name Diana in the human world. How did they not know that? Interesting.
It was merely a suggestion. The faster we get this human home, the faster we can move on and finish off the Demon Lord.
Well, what are we going to do with the human now?
Still in the room, right here. I can hear you.
We can give her a room to rest in. Humans need sleep after all. Maybe by the time she wakes up, we'll think of a solution.
Come.
Alright. The woman with the rabbit ears looked down at me and lowered her hand to invite me to take it. She had a kind but concerned expression on her face, so I trusted her. I slowly took her hand and began to stand up as the fairy figure brushed up the small patches of dust that had accumulated on my dress. I couldn't do anything. I was forced to listen to the beings around me because there was nothing else I could do. Without them, I couldn't get home. My heart ached, but I had to accept my predicament.
Here, I'll bring you to the open ambassador's room. You are free to rest there for now.
Who's the ambassador? How come the ambassador couldn't do his job in the first place? Because, the ambassador was supposed to stop the war in the first place. Shouldn't, the ambassador try to talk things out for everybody? Or is the ambassador, a different thing? Okay, or what about, okay. I was led out of the room and into the hall. I kept my eyes down, trying to make more of my situation I was in. I was trapped in the demon world, and Diana was out of commission, and the demon lord had plans for me. But what exactly was he aiming for, besides ruining the wedding and not getting invited to one in future? I could have been bait, I could have been revenge. I didn't know, nor could I figure it out now. At least I was safe, or at least I hoped I was safe. The woman led me to a room. The passage screamed medieval fantasy. Everything was clean, but it still had an old-age feel, as if no one had ever stepped foot in the room until that moment.
Rest here for now. When Diana is well again, we can discuss what to do.
Okay. Thank you. I nodded the woman before she gently curtsied and left. Closing the door behind her, I took a moment to observe my surroundings, interested in understanding the ethnics. This was fantasy turned into reality. It was like I'd gone back in time. Why, though? Was the demon world really that behind in the times, or did magic surpass technology? And this was the result? Oops. Despite the situation I was in, which was beyond heartbreaking and terrible, my curiosity began to fester in my mind, as if I was given a golden opportunity to learn something new, keeping in mind that you're still dealing with weird mood swings. And I wouldn't advise you snapping at anybody here in case they bite your head off, literally. However, my thoughts began to drift. I felt myself becoming weak and dizzy, no doubt from the shock and trauma I'd gone through. I stumbled towards the bed, didn't even sit down, and let everything settle in without passing out. As my rear hit the mattress, however, I let out a small, pleasurable sigh. Holy crap, this is a comfy mattress! I felt my body fall back and my entire body simply melted into the softness beneath my body. It was like I was sleeping on a cloud. Was that possible? Demon magic may have something to do with it, but I was certain I was drifting into almost blissful sleep just by lying on the blankets and mattress. Not caring that I was still in my dress, I closed my eyes and drifted asleep. I knew the rest since Diana wouldn't be available for a while anyway. Darkness surrounded my mind, my dreams remained silent and hushed in the cool and calm. Black. No nightmares appeared, no sounds were made. I was just simply resting, and that was all my body needed. I let my thoughts wander in my subconscious, thinking about what was going to happen now. What would the boys do when they realise I'm gone? What will he do? Imagining finding a way through to the demon world and pulling me back where I belonged, wrapping me in his arms and swearing never to let me go. I would be relieved and we would be married just as we planned. And hopefully then they can figure out what's wrong with you. How unrealistic was that? I had to be realistic now. I was stuck and the only one who seemed to be able to send me back was Diana and her companions, whoever they were. I had to trust them, whether I liked it or not. We'll end the episode here. I'll get more episodes up for you guys later. We're going to head off to a different route as well, so I'm going to try and mix them up as much as I possibly can. And yeah, see you guys in the next Seduce Me 2 episode. Bye, thanks for watching.